Good morning, dear viewers, and welcome back to our channel. For months, senior advisors had warned that the lingering shadow of Andrew's controversies posed a direct threat to public trust in the monarchy. Today, we uncover the real reason behind King Charles and Prince William's bold and unprecedented decision to finally cut ties with Prince Andrew. Just a couple of years into his reign, the king has surely been in a tough spot as he juggled sibling loyalty with his royal responsibilities. But sometimes to the point of fault, and even he'd reached his tipping point this week. William did in 2 weeks what his father couldn't do in 3 years. Friends of Prince William have told that the heir to the throne masterminded the operation to evict his uncle Andrew and strip him of his princely titles, after despairing of his father's weakness on the matter. William is king in all but name now. The idea was that the king had put to him something in the tenor of, "Would your mother really want to see you putting at risk the whole establishment?" Which I think goes back to the chat that we had earlier this week, which is about how public perception and public mood was way ahead of certainly where Parliament was. Andrew had been dragging his heels. That is why this has taken such a long time. It is family and monarchy, and when the lines are blurred, it's very difficult for them. Today, the king was seen driving at the royal family's Sandringham estate in Norfolk. It's a notable location, as Andrew is expected to relocate to the property after also losing his royal lodge accommodations at Windsor. Charles was with his royal protection officer, who was in the passenger seat, and the king appeared pensive. Fast forward 6 weeks, and in just 109 blistering words, Buckingham Palace has finally swung the axe, metaphorically, on any remaining links between itself and the man now known simply as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Just a day from the palace's shocking announcement, his name has been removed from roll of peerage on royal family's official website. For the first time in 106 years, a British prince, duke, and an HRH is about to be downgraded to the deliciously bog-standard, all-right governor, Poundland Mr. Mountbatten Windsor. So why was Andrew given the surname Mountbatten Windsor, the surname that the Sussex's children Archie and Lilibet also share? Mountbatten Windsor is the surname given to descendants of Queen Elizabeth II who do not already have the title of prince or princess or the style of royal highness, which is now Andrew's case following the removal of his style, titles, and honors. Andrew's not moving into a smaller cottage on the Windsor estate. He's off the plot. He's out of Windsor. The House of Windsor is kicking him off into Royal Siberia at the other end of the M11 in Norfolk, and he's losing all his titles, all his honors. So really, he's being ranked alongside traitors, people who fought against his country, and that is incredibly wounding for someone who fought for his country. So this is big punishment. And he is only 65, and you have to wonder, what is he going to do? They also sensed a female touch in the statement, speculating Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine were part of the decision. There would have been a push from 2 royal powerful women, and there was pressure from William, who would not want to inherit the headache. As for the Queen, Camilla is very active in the area of abused women, and it is one of her charities. She actually made a film about some of the women suffering from abuse, who had to leave home and take their families with them, to set up lives in a shelter to start with. As for Prince William, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and this uncomfortable footage of Andrew and the future king says everything. It was the deeply uncomfortable royal moment that quickly went viral. Prince Andrew, turning to his nephew, Prince William, apparently hoping to share a casual chat on the steps of Westminster Abbey after the Duchess of Kent's funeral. The heir to the throne could not have appeared more awkward, appearing to visibly shift away from his uncle rather than engage, in footage shared endlessly online. William has been a strong voice in managing the Andrew problem. He is adamant that there is no way back for his uncle. The long-standing issues existed between he and his uncle dating back years, even before the former's reputational freefall. Andrew is claimed to have once made rude remarks about William's wife, Princess Catherine, that sent the heir to the throne over the edge. William also loathes Sarah, Andrew's ex-wife, and can't wait for the day when his father throws them both out. If Charles doesn't, I guarantee you the first thing William does when he eventually becomes king is to get them evicted. A potential King William, inevitable King William, wants to make the Windsor estate his home. He wants it to be a sanctuary and a safe space for his 3 small children. I believe that Fergie and Andrew are distractions and could potentially jeopardize the future of the royal family if they still stay. I think it's out of sight, out of mind. William's alleged position on Andrew was further fueled when Andrew attended the annual Easter service at Windsor alongside the royal family earlier this year, but the Prince and Princess of Wales were conspicuously absent. The line has now finally been drawn in the sand, thanks to the palace's bombshell statement on Thursday night, UK time, and what a relief it must be for the future king. Legislation has been used before to strip titles, notably descendants of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, who were on the German side in the First World War. The act meant that enemies of the UK during the war could be deprived of their British peerages and royal titles. But despite being stripped of his titles, Andrew is still 8th in line for the throne, according to Buckingham Palace. He sits behind his nephews, Princes William and Harry, and their children. Andrew's daughters, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, and their children are behind him in the line of succession. As well as remaining in line to the throne, Andrew could receive a huge settlement by leaving Royal Lodge early. It is believed Andrew made no objection to his titles being stripped. I think one of the reasons is to protect his daughters. Unlike the previous statement that came from Andrew himself, and which gave him a degree of control over things, making it sound as though it had been his choice to volunteer to step down, this statement's specific choice of wording gives the impression that things are now being wrestled from his grasp. Politicians from across the aisle have also backed the king's decision to strip Andrew of his titles and Royal Lodge residence. Liberal Democrat leader Sir Ed Davey said Charles is absolutely right to do so. The leader of the Scottish National Party in Westminster, Stephen Flynn, said, "The right decision and an important moment for the victims of Epstein. Andrew has vehemently denied all allegations against him. For years, Prince Andrew has been dogged by rumors about his problematic behavior inside palace walls. The ex-Duke of York has been described by some sources as arrogant and entitled, with one royal author citing accusations of bullying and humiliating staff. Andrew is also said to have made bizarre requests of royal employees and would allegedly scream and shout if they were not followed through. Andrew is said to have been very particular about the proper mode of address and would insist everyone bowed to him when he came into a room. Loney, if they failed to do so, he would apparently say, "Let's try that again," leaving the room and re-entering. The book claims that the royal also have had one aide removed from his role because he didn't like the appearance of a mole on the man's face and another for wearing a nylon tie. Prince Andrew's camp have, however, leaked suggestions that giving Andrew 2 houses, one for him and one for his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, was the king's idea. It's a clear sign of the chaos at the heart of King Charles's court, where discipline has completely broken down as courtiers. Family members and aides have taken advantage of the weak and ailing king's lack of control to push their own agendas. It's also remarkable evidence that, despite having agreed to renounce his title of Duke of York, the prince is still living up in astonishing style to the title of the damning new biography about him by Andrew Loney, which is called Entitled. Andrew's demands also reflect the simple fact that he is currently enjoying one of the most advantageous property deals in Britain and is now so hated and despised by the public that he has nothing left to lose. It would make no financial sense whatsoever for Andrew to move out under the terms of his lease, as by those terms he would receive only about £557,000 in compensation.